You are listening to Dale Byron on poetry, and I'd like to talk about kindness today with a poem by the great poet Leonard Nathan called Kind, Kind. Poem goes like this. I hadn't noticed, I had not noticed until a death took me outside and left me there, I had not noticed, I had not noticed until a death took me outside and left me there. That grass lifts so quietly to catch everything we drop, and we drop everything. I had not noticed, I hadn't noticed until a death took me outside and left me there, that grass lifts so quietly to catch everything we drop, and we drop everything. I remember hearing that poem for the first time some years ago, and it really stuck inside me. And I began to imagine how we human beings are connected to the earth in a profound way. We are the earth, in essence. And the thought I had is that we and the grass are connected, kind and of a kind. You know, I thought to myself that one of the greatest compliments that we can play or pay to another person is to say they're kind. I appreciate that kindness we say. And if you think about the word, it actually means kinship. If we say that they are kind, it means they are our kind. They're treating us as our kind, or we just simply say they are treating us kindly. So this poem to me talks about this deep connection. And I love the way when it says, I had not noticed until a death took me outside. And we get this sense of a deep level of grief where we are on the outside looking in. And all of us have experienced something similar to that at some point. I love the way the poet says it that way. I had not noticed till a death took me outside and left me there, in grief, in other words. And the poet, the protagonist says that grass lifts so quietly to catch everything we drop, and we drop everything. And it is true. And it is true that the grass is there, the earth is there in a deeper sense to catch us. The note I made is once we are part of this mysterious, unfathomable, undefinable condition we call life, once we are part of that and recognize that we are of a part to that, we call this condition we call life, then we are in and within this club of ultimate kindness, just like the poem describes. Ultimate kindness with the world at large. In this case, the poet is talking about grass as a metaphor for everything that catches us. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. One little additional thing I want to mention today is that I had someone ask me recently, why do I actually do this podcast? And it's been going now for a couple of years. And before that, I did other different things, newsletters, and always with this poetry theme. And I thought to myself, well, why do I read and write poetry every day and have done so for 30 plus years? I figure by now that I've probably read about 1 million poems. And so why do I do that? And why have I taught poetry for so many years? I'm thinking about that because I'm just beginning to do a new class at the Fromm Institute in San Francisco. It actually starts tomorrow morning, the class, 8-week class. And so I thought about all of that, the podcast, the writing, the reading a million poems, the teaching poetry for many, many years. And why is that? And the thought that came to me, and I was actually made a few notes about this because I said, because the half life of my inspiration, my hope, my centeredness, and my connection to my intuition and to my emotional life can be very short. So the half life of all those things, my inspiration, my centeredness, the connection to my intuition and emotional life, all of those have a very short half life. So I need lots of poems and poetry to, as booster shots, I thought to myself that metaphor, to help me get out of my head, as I often say, and into my heart. Or if I could say it even more simply, it poetry helps me bring head and heart together in a different, more skillful way. And all of that is so important to me. And I also, in answering this question, I thought to myself, if there are a few others out there in the world that also have the same short half life with their inspiration and all these things that, their hope, all those things, it comes to them, but it's got a short half life, and they need re-ups. They need to be refreshed. All those things. If there's even a few people out there that encounter these poems as a refreshment to their inspiration, as a refreshment to their intuition, as a refreshment and a bolstering of the ability to bring head and heart together in a kind of emotional life that is really centered and connected. If that happens, then I have succeeded amazingly. So let me just thank you for your listening ear, as I always do. Thank you so much for being here and sharing these poems with me. And until next time and next poem, please, please take good care of yourself. And if you can, someone else.